Good morning. Welcome back to Coffee and Colorful Conversation. Happy Wednesday. Give it a minute, wait for some people to get on here. Throw something in the chat to let me know that you're here. I'm not talking to myself on this beautiful Wednesday. Make sure we're connected. Jack, you want to take a peek? No, okay, somebody's on. Cool. Now we're coming in. Now they're coming in. Hello. Hi, Stacy. So I was done with a capital D, done with stressing over how to get new clients into my salon for me, for the stylists that work with me, for everyone to stay busy. I've been in business since 1989. 1989 to 19 whatever was flyers on people's windshields in parking lots at Kohl's or Boscov's or one of those department stores. We had to get scrappy. We had newspaper ads that were a fortune and nobody freaking saw them. Asking people to host their friends at our salon and having events. It was exhausting. We did little girl birthday parties. We painted their little fingernails. We invited all their moms to come for tea parties so that we could get the moms to come to the salon. So you can imagine how exhausting it has been over the last 35 years of doing everything with jazz hands, trying to get business into my salon. So with all the technology that has surfaced since then, thank you, Lord above, things have gotten so much easier. But have you taken advantage of the new things that are easier? Probably not, because tech can be just as overwhelming as all of those things that I just talked about. So for me, behind the chair, doing color corrections, doing what I love, being the stylist, the colorist, living the passionate part of my industry was where I thrived. Where I didn't thrive was stressing about taking the photo before. Oh my gosh, I forgot the before. Now it's not going to be a great post because they're not going to see how crappy her hair looked. They're only going to see the after. It's exhausting because then we start running behind the chair. We have our next client glaring at us while we have the person posing and it's starting to get dark and we don't have the right lighting. And then we're pulling out the ring light and then the person has glasses and the ring light's, showing light in their glasses. And that's old news. It's old news. It's, completely done. It's over. So I decided to do something new and different and take advantage of all of the artificial intelligence that is out there for us to just reach out and grab. And my special guest today is Jack from a new company called My Salon Concierge. It has been an amazing experience. We were the first salon. We were the beta salon. That's what they call it in the online world, where we were the test rats. We were like, let's see how this goes. Let's see how it performs before I start recommending it to all of you. I don't ever share with you anything that I have not used or done myself. That is what I pride myself on. I'm not going to BS you and tell you to try something I haven't tried. So Jack is here to share the results with my salon, Lux Color Lounge, and how amazing it did for our stylist, Sarah, who's also here. So Sarah came to us. She didn't have any clientele. And we recommended that she specialize in curly hair. It was a great thing. She learned everything about curly hair. She's amazing at it. And then we had to get the word out. And that's where Jack came in. So I'm going to bring Jack on to tell you about it himself. And then you're going to meet Sarah, who only a year and a half into being behind the chair is fully booked with a waiting list. Yes, I said a waiting list. And it all happened because of this amazing platform. So Jack, welcome to the coffee chat.
Good morning.
Let's talk about this My Salon Concierge business and simplify it. You don't have to get into the whole back end of how it works because we're hairdressers and frankly, we don't give a shit. We just want to know that what you do makes us money.
Of course. So at a simple level, we help hairstylists get clients while they sleep. And what I've been telling people is you focus on the hair, we get the clients in the chair. So that's the 30-second elevator pitch of what we do. And essentially, the reason I started this business is one of my first jobs, I was like 16, I worked at a barbershop and I worked at the reception, basically answering the phone, and filling in old school paper and pen notebook. And I've always been pretty tech savvy, adept with social media and everything that comes with it. And I quickly realized that there's an opportunity here to basically help beauty businesses with digital marketing and kind of simplifying things. And I realized after talking to these business owners that they have so many other things to worry about, right? Hiring, firing, making sure that the shampoo girl showed up and inventory is behind, and oh, this person canceled, I got to call them back. And all these things are happening nonstop. And that just takes time away from you worrying about actually getting clients, right? And a lot of people, like you mentioned, are feeling this stress and pressure to post on social media every day and do stories. And really, when you're doing that, you're just kind of praying that someone's going to come across your page, right? And it's just not, in my opinion, the most efficient way of doing things. I think I talk to a lot of people and they're a little overwhelmed with kind of the current age of the digital landscape, right? They're not doing online booking. They don't have a website. All these things that are kind of normalized now seem a little intimidating to most beauty business owners. So my job is to kind of simplify things, take all that tech nonsense off your plate, and you do what you do best.
I love it. And the reason I love it so much is because anyone, I would say, over the age of 35 is a safe number. We weren't born, we didn't even have the internet. Well, I don't know about 35, but I didn't have the internet when I was starting out. And for someone who's very seasoned and experienced in the industry, it can really feel defeating that someone who has maybe 5 years experience, who's amazing at filtering photos and really knows how to use hashtags and be amazing online, is getting my customer that I could have done a better job on their color, their cut, or whatever. But because I'm not tech savvy, I'm losing that opportunity to meet that client. So that is where I know, with teaching at the hair shows, I know that's the biggest frustration for people over 35 is like, okay, I mastered Facebook. I know how to use Facebook. Well, now everybody left and went to Instagram. Oh crap. Now I learned Instagram. Everybody left and went to TikTok. I'm sorry. I'm not going to dance and shake my boobs and do funny things on TikTok to get a client. And I've been doing hair for almost 40 years. And I can really authentically say I have never gotten a client from a post on social media ever. And I was booked solid and busy all the time because I did good work and I made sure that my clients left looking good. And I made sure that I asked them for referrals. That's great, but that's the long game, right? Referrals are the long game. It's you're hoping and praying they happen to go to a party when you did their blowout and someone says, hey, your hair looks great. A client's not automatically going to walk around at Starbucks and go, like my hair? Go see Elaine at Lux Color Lounge. Like, it's just not happening. So we either pay with our time on the long game or we pay with our money. So I'm sure, Jack, that's one of the things you're running into is the very same stylists that are so frustrated that they're not getting the new clients are also the ones that are saying, I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay for marketing. I don't have money. Well, you don't have money because you don't have clients. So I'm going to go away. I'm going to let you guys take over and I'm going to introduce Sarah. Somebody's saying frozen screen. Is that everybody or is that just Lori? Say something in the comments if you can still. Michael, can you still see and hear us? Michael said, "You're the spit of Michael Bublé." I hope he makes Michael Bublé's money. He should be. He sings like Michael Bublé too. Okay, everybody else is so good. So Sarah, welcome to the stage. I'm going to go away.
Hey Sarah, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. I really appreciate you hopping on. We just wanted to really highlight your experience. Just to give everyone some context, Sarah is a stylist at Lux Color Lounge. I believe just about a year and a half behind the chair, correct?
Yep.
Amazing. So what we did with Sarah is really identify her end goal, which from my memory is basically be the curly cut expert. Awesome.
Exactly.
So basically my strategy is really to reverse engineer everything and figure out what is the end goal. And it was the curly cutting expert. And then how are we going to form an offer to attract those dream clients? So in this case, we came up with a curly hair reset bundle package. And basically, leveraging Instagram and Facebook advertisements, we came up with an attractive offer and just pushed it to the people that she actually wanted to have in the chair. So I'm able to fine tune the ad to show to the people that she only wants to see. So I did, women between the ages of 30 plus within 12 miles of the salon. So the beauty of the technology is we're able to go after the very, very specific people that she's looking for. And if you kind of just talk about, I guess we only ran the ads for a month. Yeah. And Sarah's like, yo, you got to turn them off. Like, I got people on my waiting list. This is just like getting a little overwhelming, which is an amazing problem to have. So I guess if you could just talk about like the switch and the experience working with everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't have to lift a finger. It was awesome. Honestly, I feel like these days it's harder to keep people in your chair because there's so many options and there's so much competitiveness on the internet that you guys take care of like the front end and bringing them into me, and then I can focus on my craft and keep them, which has helped tremendously. Plus, like when I was posting on Instagram, like I'd spend an hour and a half working on a video, get like 50 likes. I'm not getting the outreach that I need to. And this way I can, and then they can just refer to my Instagram as like approval that they want to come in. I mean, it's been really amazing seeing how far people are coming just to see me. Like, I don't think they would have ever come across me without these ads. And it's worked so quickly, and like I've had the perfect clientele so far. It's really amazing.
I love it. Yeah, I think that's like a huge part of the strategy is that, my belief is that once we get the people in the chair, we have full belief that you're going to crush it. They're going to love you. They're going to continue to come back. Right. And I think an important thing to note that people need to remind themselves of is it's not the value of just getting them in the chair the one time. It's kind of incentivizing people to come in that first time, proving yourself. Then they're going to continue to come back for hopefully a lifetime. And then once they really earn your trust, they're going to go out and refer some friends and leave a good Google review, which honestly, you mentioned to me that I think it was like, I want to say 10 5-star reviews in the span of like 3-4 weeks, which is nuts.
Yeah. It made like, you don't see that, honestly. And I have had, full families come in just from one person seeing the ad. So it really has a bigger outreach than you even see,
100%. And I think we all know the value of social media. Like everyone watching this right now is on social media. So you're kind of proving my point that a lot of people's attention is on social media. And think about the power of taking all the people that you want and showing to those exact people. It's nuts. And it's just, there's nothing really that you else could do unless you're running around your town screaming that, you do hair and begging them to come in. So
exactly.
Yeah, I think, and just a note, as far as the reviews go, part of our strategy is basically once the client leaves, we have it automatically send a text and ask for that review. So Sarah wasn't having this unnecessary pressure of like the awkward, hey, can you leave me a review, right? And it's all just happening without lifting a finger, like you said. So that's amazing.
Yeah, it makes it so much easier. I can just focus on what I do best, and it really just makes for a better outcome for everyone.
I love it. Could we talk a little bit, if you're fine with it, just like the exact kind of numbers? I think you said something like 60 plus on a waiting list. Like how many people were you able to kind of get in that month span?
I forget the amount of people, but I know we generated like over $3,000 just in the curly resets in, I think it was a month.
Yeah.
And then I had 71 people on a waiting list. And that's when we decided to freeze them for now. Yeah, it's just been really great. And especially as like a new stylist, like it's scary getting out there and not having your books filled. And like, some people have more bills than others. Like luckily I was okay. Like being able to pace myself a little bit, but it's definitely like a really great investment, and I'm just lucky that you guys are doing this.
No, I appreciate it, and it's been great working with you. I think the key word she said, guys, is investment, right? So think about all the other times that you've invested in yourself, right? Like going to school or taking the leap and even getting this career in the first place, right? It's all investments that are luckily paying off, right? And it's like you said, like you're investing. And how many people do you remember? I think a lot of them pre-booked for the next visit, right?
Yeah, I think out of like 35, I think 18 pre-booked like before they left.
Yep. See,
Yeah.
like that just shows you that not only are you going to make a lot of the ad spend back on the first visit, it's, oh, wow, they already pre-booked for the next one. And if you really take the time to figure out the lifetime value of a client, how much a client is worth to you in a year, and that's like part of my strategy is really like helping people hone that in and figure out how valuable is a client to you, you can quickly see that like it's worth it. Because yes, there's a cost associated with running ads on social media, but it's worth it every single time, especially if you know what you're doing. And I do. But yeah, I mean, that's like the gist of it. Elaine, if you want to hop back in.
Funny you should ask. I was just ready to hop back in uninvited. So what I wanted to point out is we all know about Groupon, and in the beauty world, Groupon is like the herpes of marketing in the beauty world, because you get all these clients, but Groupon gets most of the money, right? So that's what I loved about this, is that we were able to do an attractive offer that was going out to people that we weren't pushing it out to from this Salon Concierge platform. And it was not a discounted offer. That's my favorite part. So every single person that came to see Sarah was at or above her regular price that she would have, had if a stranger came in off the street. So I wanted to make sure that we shared that part of it, because I think people automatically think, oh, $300 in services, come in now $150, because depending on what coach you're working with, some coaches say, don't ever discount your work. Some coaches say you have to discount to get busy. This is a beautiful thing for someone like Sarah, who's only been doing it a year and a half. She didn't even have to give up $1 of what she would have made behind the chair. So for me, I can't find a single negative, with the exception of you have to put the money out to see that it works. And I think that's the biggest fear factor. Fear, you'll hear me say almost every week, is false evidence appearing real. It's the story we have in our head of, oh my gosh, I'm going to put out this money and then it's not going to work. And then I'm going to be even more broke. And in today's market, again, going back to the time or money, you either pay with your time, or you're going to sit on your butt. Sarah could be sitting at the salon making $0. The other stylist could be asking her to do their shampoos. She could be picking up a broom, sweeping a broom, all depressed in the broke room. I call it broke room, not break room. They're all broke and they're all bitching, instead of just really betting on yourself. It's like being at the casino and saying, if I put $100 down, I'm going to get $100 back, and I might even get $200 back. So that's how I want people to look at it, because so many things in business and in life are scary, but you already know the outcome that's already happened, and you already know your track record. So if you're still sitting and complaining in the broke room, this could be the answer for you. Sarah, thank you for joining us. I know this is early for you. You don't start till a little later and you look adorable.
Thanks for having me.
For your time. So one last thing you want to leave people with, if they're feeling afraid of the what ifs, we have the paper bookers that are like, well, I don't want people booking online because I want to control what time they come. This does not affect how you book people, what time you book them. Like, Sarah still had full control over all of that. This has nothing to do with that. So you can speak to something like that before you hop off.
It was, sorry, what was your question? I got a little lost there.
Like, if the old you before this happened, a little bit of, what's it going to be like? What are these clients going to be like? I'm afraid. I don't know. What would you speak to now that you're on the other side of it? Like, oh my gosh, what was I even worried about, kind of thing?
Right. No, I had full control. And again, we Jack set it to my ideal clientele. So I already had an idea of who was probably walking through the doors.
And the
And we
virtual
have it,
consult form, I think, if you want to talk
yes,
about that, I think
yes.
that helped a lot.
And then they fill out a virtual consult form where I can kind of see what the hair looks like now and where they're going or what they want it to look like. So I already have an idea on how to approach the situation before they're even there. And what I do is I just explain all the avenues as much as I can, why we can't. And I really haven't had a problem. Set the expectation and always, deliver higher than that. And it's been awesome.
Awesome. Well,
Love
thank
it.
you so much for coming here. Does anyone have a quick question for Sarah while we have her here, and then we'll let her go? Just type it into the chat if you have a specific question for Sarah. And if she hops off and you comment later, I can always get back to you on the answer. We'll give it a minute. I know there's a little bit of a delay. So Jack, while we're waiting for questions on Sarah, explain the other things that it does besides just get the client in the door. What's the after the client comes in, what's the Google review, what's the virtual consultation, what are all the other bells and whistles, and speak to the separate phone number, because that's huge.
Yep.
That we don't have Sarah getting her phone blown up at midnight on a Friday for I need a haircut.
Absolutely. So basically our experience is personalized to each person. So it's not a one size fits all. It's very dependent on people's goals. But the beauty of it is, yes, the separate phone number is huge. We just had a question pop up if you want to, address that first.
Leslie said, are you experiencing any pushback from your waiting list? Like, oh, she's too busy, can't get in. Well, that's a good problem to have, but you can speak to that.
You would think, but no, actually, I feel like I see more where it's like, if I offer them tomorrow, they're actually more concerned.
I agree.
They're like, oh, she's open tomorrow. Like, she must not be that good. So it
It's like a
actually hasn't
nightclub.
been an issue.
Like a nightclub with a long line, right? You pull
Yeah.
up and you're like, all right, that must be the spot to be, rather than nightclub with no line. I don't think you're really going to go in.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it.
I agree with that 100%, because I see here in Florida every single day, people say, emergency, my daughter's wedding's this weekend and my color is canceled on me. Who can do my roots? I'm like, bitch, anybody that can do your roots today. You do not want her doing your roots for your daughter's wedding. Like, that is not a good thing. So yeah, definitely. All right, Sarah, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much.
right.
I'm going to let Jack finish up here, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you.
Yeah.
Bye.
But yeah, in terms of the separate phone number, I find a lot of people are giving out their personal cell number to clients, which I don't recommend. I think you definitely need some division between work-life balance, and people bothering you 24/7 is not the answer. The beauty is the automation of the follow-up. So the follow-up's crucial. It's not just about showing the ad, it's the follow-up to kind of nurture these people and to get them in the door, right? And we do all that automatically, where you're not doing that. You're not worrying about texting all these new people. Oh, when can I get you in? This and that. Like, you do the hair. Like, you focus on the client in your chair, and all this is just happening in the background while you sleep. And the virtual consult form is a huge piece to this whole puzzle, because a lot of people are nervous about new clients, and I don't know if they can might be a little too out of their wheelhouse and all these problems, right? So we set clients up with a virtual consult form where they fill out, what does their hair currently look like? What's their goal? Their hair history. Have you had box color? Do you prefer morning, afternoons? All these kind of questions that you would ask them in the first 15 minutes, usually, of the physical visit. We do it all virtually, and you can make sure they're a good fit to actually come in the first place, because you could find that's not really what I do, and you refer them to someone else, right? All this kind of stuff.
And think about how many times you book a client for an in-person consultation and they either don't show up, they show up late, or they take up 30 minutes of your time, and then they're not the right fit client. So having this all done virtually is a beautiful thing. So you did get some questions. Somebody thinks that it's just Florida. So no, it is not just Florida. This is the world. Like literally, we have people in Hawaii that, take advantage of these things. That's the beauty of the internet. And someone else said, is it nationwide? So you can speak to that, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. So sorry if I wasn't clear on that. This is nationwide. I just signed on a client yesterday in Oregon. I'm in Florida, so you can see the power of the internet. This is all possible. So I saw a question. Where is this stored? Okay, so we build out a proprietary platform that we're calling Salon Concierge. And on that is where your virtual phone number would be stored, which is just like an app on your phone. So you can still use your normal phone, but you have a separate phone number. You can see all the virtual consult forms, holds all the clients, everything. Hope that answers your question.
I tried to grab the link that you sent me, Jack, and it's not working. So do you want to try doing the mention a word thing and see if that works?
Sure.
Amber's asking for price and Kelly's asking for a website. So I would love for them to book a call with you instead of getting into all that today.
Yeah. So pricing varies because not everyone's the same, right? So a solopreneur in a suite, it looks a lot different than, a salon owner with 15 staff members with 3 locations, right? Awesome, Jennifer. I'm happy to hear this looks awesome for you. So what I'm doing is I'm going to send it to you, Elaine, on Slack. Did that work?
It didn't work. No, I tested it in another browser and it was just spinning. It wasn't coming up.
Okay, because I just tested. It looks good on my end. I'm trying to join this chat, but I'm not able to. It's asking me to log in for my YouTube.
If you go into the private chat part, I can grab whatever you're trying to share. Yeah, I think this is the one that wasn't working for me, but hopefully it'll work for them.
So I'm going to have Elaine post the link to my calendar where you can book a 30-minute call with me. And we'll basically just, I just want to see if it worked. Cool. So you'll be able to book a call with me. We can kind of talk things through, see if we're a good fit to work together, kind of see what your problems are and how I can help them. I do want to try something. We set this up. I'm not certain it will work. But if you comment sleep, all caps from Facebook, I'm not sure I don't think it'll work from YouTube, but if you comment sleep, then it should DM you my booking link is what it should do. But yes, if it does not work, that booking link, that is my email address. Reach out to me and we'll get you scheduled. I'm offering calls next week. Okay, I'm seeing some comments come in. If someone could tell me if it worked, if it should pop up in your messenger, should be a link to book.
Yeah, I'm curious if it worked. We used to do this a long time ago on my.
It works. Okay, sweet.
Oh, cool. Awesome. I love it.
So you can see, I'm showing you, this is the kind of stuff we can do for you, right? We're just automating this process, and I'm not physically messaging all of you, right? This is all the power of technology.
And on that note, Jack, talk about the ability to text clients, because that's huge for us, like not having to pick up the phone and call them to remind them of their appointments and be able to shoot a text when there's some kind of opening in the salon.
Great point. So we do a lot of strategies. One of the things is we do a missed call text back. So let's say with a separate phone number, when you're busy working with a client and someone calls you, instead of like feeling this enormous pressure, oh, I got to answer this right now, just let it go. And they'll immediately get a text, hey, sorry, I'm with the client. I'll be back with you within 2-3 hours, whatever. That's the first thing. And yeah, the texting piece is huge. I think people have shifted to, they don't really want to be called and they think it's a, marketer and stuff like that. People want to communicate over text. which is huge. So we're able to, let's say you have an opening, we can send a mass text out to a list of people. Hey, I have an opening tomorrow at 2:00, stuff like that. And instead of physically messaging 100 people, you can do that in one click. We can do voicemail drops, which is a really interesting strategy. So basically, you can record a message with some kind of promotion and instantly drop it in the voicemail of all your clients.
Now you just added me to my members. Now they know that I use that feature for my members. I have over 200 members. So when I want to get an important message to them, I'm able to use this platform and say, hey, it's Elaine. Don't forget about our coaching call. We have a special guest, blah, blah, blah. Imagine if I had to sit there and call 200 people to do that same thing. And it's great because it goes right into their voicemail. It doesn't ring their phone because I'm a freak about like a bing, bing, noisy things on my phone. So all of a sudden they have this message and a lot of people will call me back because they're like, oh, I missed a call. It must be important. And they'll call me back and say, hey, you called. So like, it really is cool because the client feels like you're literally taking the time to pick up the phone and call them and that message is just for them. So that alone to me was worth the price of admission to be able to do that. I used to do, well, I shouldn't say it on here because my family watches this sometimes, but I used to like slide in when I figured out how to do that on people's cell phones when I didn't feel like talking and I wanted to just leave a message. So now this is a broad way of doing this for your clients. So it's pretty cool. There's so many things that are cool about it. As far as like being able to market in your area, you can use this platform to see, you know, what people are close to you in your area that are other businesses. If you want to collaborate with them, like it is such a smart platform that has so many bells and whistles. And I'm talking out my ass because I don't even know how to use it. And that's the beauty. I don't need to know how to use it. As long as you sign up with them and they're doing it for you, you don't have to know the tech. So I started this coffee chat with I am done because I am tired of feeling less than for not being able to navigate technology. So I always say, I wish I could have somebody do it for me. I wish I could. Well, now you can. So you can just set it and forget it. And the beauty is you only have to know how to go on and see this client is in here and they're ready for you and follow up with them. And the instant text saying, I got your thing and I'm aware of it, like that to me feels so much better. I've texted or emailed people and literally 5 days later, it's nothing. That pisses me off and I go elsewhere. Like if I'm calling, I need a videographer right now for my April event. If I call you and you don't get back to me within the next day, I'm on to the next person.
And probably the next hour, usually.
Yeah, maybe hour, but
people's expectations have shifted because, you know, we're living in an age where I can order Uber Eats and have food at my door within 20 minutes. I ordered something on Amazon last night and it's at my doorstep today. That literally happened this morning. So people's expectations have shifted. Okay, I saw a couple questions. So can the phone number connect to your regular number? So what we can do is we can forward it if you wanted to. Some people have chosen that. So when they call this separate phone number, it could actually ring your main number, if that's what you mean. Someone else asked, I have a Google Voice. Would it work with that? Yeah, we absolutely could do that. Some people have told me they want to keep their normal number, and there's some downsides to it. It won't be quite as automated, but definitely can do that. I've already started sending a text back if I missed a call, but it isn't automated. Awesome. I mean, that's a great start. So if you want to pull that comment up just so other people can see that. I've already started. Yeah.
So she's taking the time again out of her busy day to actually get back to them, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But you want to be so busy that you don't even have time to text them. Yeah. That's the goal. The other thing, Jack, that we didn't talk about is the recorded calls. That is huge in our salon with color corrections. The calls can be recorded. So when your front desk girl, it answers the phone and either quotes or doesn't quote someone, and the client's like, I was told on the phone it was going to be $50 and now it's $500 and I'm not paying. We have a recording now where we have exactly what was said on that phone call. That alone keeps you out of fighting with clients, with chargebacks and all of those things. Like I was like, oh my God, where was this 10 years ago when I was struggling to see like, why are we all of a sudden not busy? And then a client would say, your receptionist never called me back. Like I called 5 times and nobody ever called me back. Like now we know exactly what's going on the phone. We had one girl that was answering the phone that would get pissed off and not like a client. And they would say, oh, I'd love to get in with Mary Beth for a cut. When's her next one? And she's like, she's booked. And they're like, but when's her next one? She's like, forever. She's booked forever. She would literally say that because she didn't like the client. And we didn't know that. So now we would know that conversation was happening. So that's what I'm saying when I'm saying I'm talking out of my ass. I know that this platform can do all of those things. I don't know how it does all those things. I just know that it does. And you don't have to use all of it. You can use some of it. Like, don't feel overwhelmed with how many things that it does. That's why Jack's not talking about all the things that it does, because he knows from the people he's talked to on the phone that they get a little bit overwhelmed. They're like, oh my gosh, this is so much. It doesn't have to be that. It can be just client attraction, period. It can be, pieces of all of these things depending on what your business needs. So I recommend just booking a call with him. He will tell you everything that you need. Like Leslie spoke to him and she's saying she has a question here. Leslie, talk to him again. Just reach out to him. I'm sure you have his information and you're going to be at the retreat. So Jack will be at the retreat. He's going to be doing a little.
Yeah, I just saw your comment. I'm going to, I just made a note. I'll email you after this call. Someone said, instead of buying a new phone. Yeah. So I talked to I think 3 to 5 people last week and they literally showed me they have 2 phones. I'm like, all right. I mean, that's just, yeah, you could do that, but I don't think it's necessary. We can definitely help streamline that. Someone said more info. Yeah. So Patricia, if you comment sleep.
Tell them to do capitals. People are saying it has to be capitals.
Got it. So if you want to type it in for an example, yeah, all caps, sleep. And the reason I did that word is we help you get clients while you sleep.
Beautiful. So thank you everybody for listening. Thank you, Jack, for being here. See, I still lose my voice even when I have guests on. I still talk too much. So thank you everybody for listening. Book a call with Jack. He will be available next week and he'll answer any questions that you may have, because you know that what I want for you is to get to that 6-figure stylist level. And it's not as hard as you think. Sarah is killing it. And she's 1.5 years behind the chair, 1.5 years. And she does one thing. She cuts hair. That's it. She doesn't do highlights. She doesn't do touch-ups. We have departmentalized our salon. We have either you're a colorist or you're a stylist. So it's hard for stylists to get to that 6-figure level because they're only doing the one thing. She's found a way to specialize in something, to set herself apart, and to have this automated, robot behind the scenes, just filling her chair with clients. So,
and last thing I'll say, in terms of that, someone commented a little while ago, is this just you doing this business? That's really awesome. What a great idea. Well, thank you. And I need to give credit where credit's due. So my co-founder is my sister, Bryn. She wasn't able to hop on this call, but she's a huge piece of the puzzle. She's amazing at helping people craft their offer, the branding piece, pricing, right? So I lean on her in terms of really helping people come up with that offer. So like you said, for Sarah, between me and Bryn, the first step of our process is a 1-hour consult call. So basically we go through, all right, where are you at now? Where do you want to go? How are we going to get you there? So
I need to interrupt for a second.
Yeah.
This is not the call that you're getting with Jack right now. That confuses people. They think they're getting a whole branding call.
Yeah.
It's when you come on board to his company, you get this.
Yeah. So I guess I just want to be clear. The calendar link I sent out is basically just a quick call, just learning about what you're struggling with and how I can help you, and kind of just seeing if we are a good fit, and kind of just explaining in more detail exactly what I do. And then that call I mentioned, that hour call with me and Bryn, is once you sign up, that's kind of your onboarding call. and kind of how we get things rolling. Let's look at some comments. Does she feel overwhelmed now that she is that busy?
She loves it.
Yeah.
She loves it.
And keep in mind this, when we start, so part of that consult call is basically, I'm like, okay, what is your goal? So some people have told me I have to drive an hour to my salon. I only want to work Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I want to be slammed. I'm like, all right, let's do it. Or if you said, I'd rather work 5 days and only have 3 or 4 clients a day, it's completely up to you, right? That's the beauty of, especially if you're in a suite and you're in full control of your books, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. So that's a huge part of the process, is setting up those goals from the beginning so that we can actually set you up accordingly, because we don't want to overwhelm anyone either, right? It's not like all or nothing that you have to be now all of a sudden working weekends and 24/7 now. It's
imagine, Pam, imagine it's like a faucet that you can turn on full speed, you can do medium, and you can totally turn it off. So if you're starting to get so many people that it's too much, you just pause the process a little bit and take a breather. And then, but the thing is, it's always better to have 41 people on a wait list than to completely pause it and then start all over again. That's where people go wrong. I can't tell you how many people I see on social media saying, no longer taking clients, fully booked. I'm like, that is career suicide, because let me tell you, as somebody who's been at it almost 40 years, people die. They die, they move, their niece becomes a hairdresser, their best friend, goes back to beauty school and wants to play on their hair. There's a million reasons why people leave. So you never want to get so comfortable that you're like, I have my great clients and they're going to last forever, because let me tell you, they don't. So yeah, you can turn it on, off, in between. It's very adjustable, basically. I know, Pam, we got to get you out of the Stone Ages. We got to get you on online booking.
I'll tell you what, and if you want to highlight that comment, because I've gotten a ton of that feedback. I feel overwhelmed because I don't have online booking open. I've never had people book their own appointments. That's also totally fine. So we don't need to go 0 to 100 with people. I'm working with a client. Her name's Lori, and she's a solopreneur, and she didn't want online booking. I said, totally fine. We don't have to do that. And we just did it where, because she doesn't have online booking, it's a little more work on her part. We kind of get them automated as far as they possibly can go. And then she goes in and says, okay, I have Wednesday at 2:00, right? So it can be a little more manual. So you have a little more control. It's just a little more work. Yeah, I mean, my guess would be that the reason you don't want to do that is because people book for the wrong services, right? Or they book for like a lower end service and really they need the higher end, right? Part of our solution, that virtual consult form, is huge, so that you don't even give them the ability to book the wrong service, because you can look at it and say, okay, this is their hair now. This is where they want to go. They're a good fit for this service. And then we can send them that link, right? Yeah, I mean, congrats. I think, just from my perspective, if I'm looking for a new barbershop and they don't have online booking, I'm not going there. Like, I'm not calling. If I need a haircut this week, I'm calling. They didn't answer me. And then he finally gets back to me a day later. I have next week now. Like, it's instant. And if I don't see online booking, I'm on to the next place. That's just how I look at it.
Pam, let me interrupt, because I know Pam very well. Pam is an insider. I get it, because I was the same way. I was like, oh my gosh, I am a total complete control freak. So it's scary. But what's the worst that can happen if you set it up properly? Like, you set up how long you want each service to take. Like, as long as you set it up on the front end, right? And you block off the times you don't want people in and all of that, it's not like anything bad's going to happen. I want to challenge you, Pam, and I'm going to follow up. I'm going to bust your stones. I want to challenge you to do it for 1 week. Just open up your online booking. You already have it in your Gloss Genius. Just open it for a week And if it's a shit show and you're like, oh my God, see, I knew it. If you proved yourself right, then you know that it's not for you. But if you never ever open it up and try it, I promise you, I used to, and there's people on here that used to work for me. So I used to sit and handwrite cards to clients that haven't been in a while. We're going back to 1989, 1990. Hey, Jill, haven't seen you in a while. It's been 5 weeks since your last visit. I hope to see you soon. Handwritten, stamp, go to the post office, all that stuff. Now it's like you can have that so automated where it's automatically hitting Jill saying, hey, Jill, don't forget, those roots are going to be popping in 2 more days. You're not paying attention. Hello, make an appointment. And she can book it right then at like I'm a night owl. I booked things the last 2 nights at midnight, because I can. So on the client side, Pam, they don't want to bother you with calling you to make an appointment. Like they don't want to bother you as much as you don't want to be bothered. So it serves both sides, in my opinion. So that's your challenge. I'm gonna stalk you next week.
Someone said, does it still work if they have to book through my salon? You want to highlight that?
They have to book through your salon no matter what. Yeah. I think what's happening is people think that your platform is booking the clients in their book. That's not happening.
Got it. Yeah. So yeah, to be clear, my strategy is basically starting with, leveraging social media platforms for advertisements, right? Piquing their interest, getting their information, automatically communicating with them. And then let's say you have a Rosie, a Booker, a Gloss Genius, right? We'd push them to book through the existing platforms you already have. So that's why we're not trying to add more stress. My whole goal for this company is to make it as seamless and simple as possible, where literally you get clients while you sleep and you literally wake up and you're like, oh, wow, I'm stacked today, right? Like that's the goal. Yeah, someone commented, do they book through your service or to me directly? I don't want to not have time. Yes.
So they're saying they don't want them to fill the book and then their regulars can't get in. Well, I'm going to answer that because your regulars should be pre-booking their appointments when they're with you. That's a strategy that you don't want to drop the ball on. Yeah. And then they'll have their little space. And then if you have any other spaces, that's where the new people slide in. Yeah,
I think I always use the example of the dentist. When I go to the dentist, they are so good at pre-booking me. Hey, so it's assumptive sales, right? So they'll go, all right, so 6 months from now will be, I don't know, July 7th. What time works for you? You're like, oh, like not, do you want to pre-book your next visit? They just do assumptive sales and they're amazing at it. So that's kind of the recommendation I use for people. Like just do assumptive sales, right? And yeah, definitely try to pre-book them. And if you're getting a little more busy, they're going to pre-book because right now, maybe like they don't really have to worry about it and pre-book. The barber I go to, he's stacked. So I know that I got to book out a little bit in advance. Amazing. I'm looking forward to talking to you. And then just for people that are like coming in, comment the word all caps sleep, and you should get a message in your messenger with a link to book a call with me. I did get notifications. I'm getting a lot of appointment confirmations. So if there are not spots available for next week, Elaine, if you could just put my email address one more time.
Sure.
And yeah, just send me an email and we'll get you scheduled if the link's not working or whatever. Let's see. I use Vagaro Pro. Amazing.
Ashley and September and somebody else. If it didn't work for you with the lowercase, try all capitals. Somebody was saying all capitals works.
Yeah.
Better. And Angie did lowercase. So try all capitals if it didn't send you anything. And Corinna. Well, thank you, Jack. This was a lot of good information. I think you have people ready to enter into the new world of automation. It's amazing. It makes my job a lot easier with being in Florida when my salon is in Pennsylvania. So I could not do what I do and have a salon in a state that I don't live in without all this automation. So thank you for being here today. And thank you everybody for watching. Any questions, you know where to find me. You can continue to comment below the video. I'll have Jack check back in and answer questions in the comment thread. You have his email. You can comment sleep in all capitals if you want to get a direct link to his calendar to book a free call to see if this is a good fit for you. And yeah, I will see everyone next week. Enjoy
Thank you for having me.